what attracted you to the PPP? Is it your invitation to be running mate, or you joined before you were made running mate?
I didn't get... But I've always been attracted to the PPP.
PPP was created in 2012.
Yes. So I'll tell you what, I've voted for all the parties before. So I'm the typical floating voter.
All or just two? Because I'm not sure you voted for PNC or CPP.
I voted for CPP.
Okay.
I voted for CPP in 2008.
Because of Papa Kusindu?
Yes. And of course, because of the ideals with which the party stood for at the time when he was there.
So when did you join the PPP as a member?
In 2016, as when I became running mate. So I wasn't. It was said that I wasn't a member of the PPP.
That's what I'm saying. So did you join the party because you had become the running mate, or you were already a member? That's what I was asking.
I wasn't already a member.
So when you became running mate?
Yes. And that is it. You know, PPP, you don't have to join to believe in us. And I wish that we would look at our politics and our party affiliations like that. Some people think I have joined it and therefore I should vote for that party.
You have a card and you pay dues.
But you know, there are things. You just asked me a question a few minutes ago whether there are still the same issues like 2014. There may not be the same issues, but it doesn't mean that issues do not exist. And therefore, the fact that I belong to one party will mean that is the way I'm going to vote, even if I disagree with some of the things that are going on.
But you ought to have in the PPP an ID card to be a member of the party, oughtn't you?
No, not at the time that I was joining. And PPP was open to say she's not a member, but that is the type of party that we have.
How did you get invited to be running mate?
Well, there were people who knew me and had seen my activity online, my participation in Occupy, and they called me. Honestly, when they called me, I did expect that they wanted me to either write something about the party or do something with their campaign. But when I was asked to be running mate, it took me some time to think about it. It's a big decision to take. So I thought about it. I ran it by my family, told them this is what I've been asked if I would accept. And then I went ahead and accepted it.
Did Dr. Ndom himself call you, or he sent a team to speak to you?
There was a team I spoke to, but I spoke to them and I was immediately speaking to Dr. Ndom about my
Has your family been political?
Not much. Well, not vocally, except my big brother, who I understand contributes to conversations on Peace FM a lot.
Supporting which party?
But not his support. He's very objective.
Okay.
That's the thing. He's very objective. Wrong is wrong, kind of person. But
he doesn't have a party card?
I don't believe so.
He doesn't support any of the two parties?
No, he doesn't.
I see.
Yes.
When you met Dr. Ndom, then what happened? He said, come and be my running mate.
Well, these two, the people, the team I had spoken to already had told me that is what they wanted from me. But I of course, I had to speak to Dr. Ndom and see, first of all, whether the personalities gel.
So what do you like about him?
You know, I had heard Dr. Ndom on air several times, and I had voted for him as well. So it wasn't this time to become vice presidential candidate that's, if I can use the word, endeared me to him and the policies that and the principles that he stood for. I had heard about him already. I had already voted for him when he led the CPP. So I was actually happy because it's aligned with some of my values and some of my principles.
What are these values?
I wanted for God.
What are the values and principles?
First of all, the one thing that I cannot deal with is the indiscipline in this country. We in the PPP talk about we want a just and disciplined society. The indiscipline in this country is heartbreaking.
The man you idolize engaged in financial indiscipline. The BOG, the central bank, decided to take its bank. It's so much for someone who supports indiscipline or fights indiscipline.
That is arguable that he engage in financial indiscipline.
It hasn't been overturned. So until it's overturned, the fact remains.
So it hasn't been overturned. So you can't let the fact remain. It's still out there to be argued.
It is what it is for now until overturned.
Well, so let's leave that and until it is overturned. But the point is, indiscipline is not only financial.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's one part
That
of
is another thing. You
indiscipline.
see, when I was talking about our values on the day of my acclamation, I said we seem to have reduced our values only to money. Our values go beyond money, and one of the values, if we turn this country into a disciplined society, it will make us money. But the indiscipline alone and the way people get away with it is amazing. And I come from a background, I grew up in the army, where discipline was non-negotiable. You know, indeed, it was sometimes enforced in some very brutal ways.
You like that?
No, not quite.
Do you want soldiers to be deployed to Accra to whip people who are urinating at wrong places?
Certainly not.
What do you
We
define?
don't need soldiers to be deployed in Accra for that. But if you have someone enforcing it, so that when they say, do not urinate here, 100 cedi spot fine, there's someone who enforces it. There's someone who should look out and say, who did this? And regardless of where you belong or who knows you, that discipline must be enforced.
What else is in the PPP that should attract a voter?
You know, I'll name a few. I started from the just and disciplined society, but let's go to the just, where, Umaru, you are here because you got some opportunities and some doors opened for you.
I worked for them.
Pardon?
I worked for them.
Yes, you worked for them, but the opportunity had to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And there are several children like you, and you know it because I heard you guys on air the other time saying that you went to a school not far from here and you spoke to a young lady and you found that she was talented and you decided to help. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have to take you, Umaru Sanda. The opportunity should be there. This morning, for example, I got a call from my hometown, from the Vay Secondary School there, the headmaster. And of course, he has heard that someone from his village is, running for president. He's immediately thinking, how can we get the same opportunities here? You know, we want a society where the opportunities exist for everybody, regardless of where you come from.